2024 marks a major milestone with Omega 365 core technology platform. 24 products and a robust core organization laying the foundation for scalability, security, and a platform our customer can grow into. Today, we'll share key highlights and explore what's next. Welcome to this live session.
I'm Jon Vik.
Yes, and my name is Jan Christian Brattås. First, we'll look at these 24 products. In our webpage, you can discover all the products under Omega 365. One of the products that you will see that we are investing a lot in Q1 2025 is work prep and material. You can go into each of them, each of the products, and have a look at an introduction to the product, also the key highlights, and a little bit more information about the product itself. At the below, you will see some insights and blog posts that we are creating for the products. Okay, first we'll start off with scope items.
Yes, let's have a little look at scope items. That's been one of the main updates in Omega 365. Scope items unifies workflows, meetings, activities into one register. We call it a scope item, so that's basically the scope of work and other stuff that you need to follow up, other processes. So I'm now in the scope items register where I will find all my processes, all the scope items basically. As you can see in here, when I filter for process, I will see that I have inspection activities, control and reviews, punch items, I have meetings, interface clarifications, and further many others as well. And a key thing, of course, here you can see all of these different scope items, all these different processes, but there are also dedicated apps for the meeting register. If I go to meetings, I will find those there. If I go to onboardings, I will find those processes related to that. And individual detailed apps can be quite different depending on what type of scope item we're talking about. So if I filter for field installation, I might see here that I have on my right hand side a detailed app. I will see that I have broken the field installation work into several sections, and each of these sections can have different content. It can have check items. It can also have, like in this case, that this field installation work package needs to be signed off by certain persons.
One of the new things this year with on the scope items as well, on the process you can set up if the scope item should be open in execution mode when you are on a tablet or mobile device, and be more in execution where you can go through the checklist, having the documentation available.
Yes, and this one fits very fine into a mobile app for a mobile phone, I mean, of course.
Yes.
Yes, and if I go back to my scope items register and filter for a meeting, then I will see that if I go to the project risk, let me filter for one of those risk meetings. Yeah, we have a risk workshop here. I will see these sections, which is basically then the agenda for this meeting. And on my right hand side, I will see in this case I have attached some check items. I can go down to identification of risk where we have linked in the risk register. What's nice with that is that when you execute the meeting, then first of all, when you prepare for the meeting, you can attach related information so that it's easy for the participants of the meeting to be well prepared. And then when you come to the actual meeting and you're gonna go through the meeting agenda and work through the different items there, you can actually work with the, in this case, the risks. It could be, of course, documents, it could be workflows, etc., that you will be working on during the meeting. You have it all available on your right hand side. You can register new risks if you want to. And you can have different attachments. Here we have a specific risk, so you can do the assessments of this risk, for example. So this concept with these meetings has been a good success. We can for sure say that's very popular among our users, and this thing that you can have information so easily available when you actually execute the meeting is very practical. A change that we also did recently was that when you go through the meeting agenda here, when you open, it's only that section that is open at a time, so you get focused on that specific agenda item. So scope items, that could be meetings, it could be inspection activities, field installation activity as we looked at, and it could be also different workflows. Here we have risk mitigating measure. So here we have the different steps. It's currently at step 2, approve and reject. And if I click on the process link here, I will see how this process is configured. So it's going to go through these steps. So the key thing then with the scope items is that this really gives you a full overview of all the scope, all the activities, all the workflows, all the meetings and other things to follow up. And you have nice reporting possibilities, like we have the scope item skyline that gives you an overview of all the scope items in a time view, where the different cards are shown within this. In case the weeks, you can choose what type of, if you want to show it by month or by week or whatever.
And because this is scope items, you can combine, you can create yourself a filter and showing a combination, if you would like, typical activities or workflows and meetings, all of them together in skyline view.
Yeah, so that's nice. Okay, so I would say that's one of the key things with scope items, but another key thing is how much more configurable it is now. First of all, like you are familiar with from before, is that you can configure your own process. So you can configure a workflow process for handling onboarding of new employees, of deviation requests, RFIs, whatever. Yep. Let's have a look at that. So that, of course, you can do now as well, but there are more possibilities, and that's that you can configure additional properties yourself. Customer-defined fields is another terminology. Before, if you needed some additional attributes to your register, you typically had to send us a request to our product managers, who would evaluate and then potentially implement it, and it will be available then for all the users. However, in many cases, you only want to have it. You need to have it yourself, and you don't want to. You don't need and want to wait for product management to implement the additional attributes. Now you can define these yourself. So for this process, we just added location. There's a good selection of available fields or attributes that you can add, and which you want to have available here is something that each customer of us can define themselves.
And these properties can also be reused through, you're now as on a workflow. Yep. Could be a risk or in document, incident, etc.
So like here we have a process for request for information. You might write something about consequences, potential consequences, or any of these other, if it's related to like in this case, exposed, when it's exposed from and exposed to. So these fields can then easily be added. And what's a good thing with that is that these fields also becomes available in the grid and in the detailed app. So basically it works the same way as a standard field that comes with the standard product. So that makes it much more configurable, and you can also then create your own registers, like this RFI process. If you want to have a separate register app for that, it's possible. So when I go to the menu, I will find RFIs as an app. We will of course find all of these RFIs in the scope items register, but now I go to this RFIs app and I will find those RFIs and can also configure which type of standard filters that should be available, which tasks to be available, and so on. And we have like onboardings internally in Omega. We have an onboardings register, so you can have all the different processes related to onboardings, because it doesn't necessarily need to be just one process. It can be multiple processes that are included in a register.
And you can easily navigate through them when you click on onboardings here as well, so you have them easily available and can...
Like here with the interface clarifications, maintenance activities, and so on. Okay, so that's it's been one of the big updates the last few months that we rolled out to basically all of our Omega 365 customers.
Yes.
And you want to show a little bit what's happening with document management?
Yes, yep. And we'll... All right. So one of the latest things that we have done is that the PDF preview can also now be a native Office file preview. So if this can be turned on and off for a customer. But in this case, we have a Word document, and you actually be in the native viewer of Word. You can also go in edit mode. Then it will be the same as before when you opened it up in a dialog. Now it's just really embedded into the details app of a document. The same will be if now I'm in the grid showing it. You can also navigate directly to the document, and in this case it's Excel, which is even better doing native.
Because we've seen with Excel, for sure, having a PDF converted Excel file, that's not typically good enough reflecting how the layout of the Excel file is actually. Yeah. And having the preview being using a native Excel is a much better user experience. And it's faster also, I would say. Yeah,
and you can always have a PDF of it and download it as well.
And when you initiate the review, of course, that's the PDF that you do the markups on.
Yes. And this could be turned on and off for each solution. Another thing that we have added is the DWG preview. Also, you can always have the, in this case we didn't have PDF, but if it's a PDF as well, you have the PDF version, but you can also view it natively in the preview here.
And that's something that's been requested by our customers for many years, and we've tried out different options, but we do certainly believe now that we have a very good concept, and we have some of our clients already started using this. Yes. And it's looking really promising.
Absolutely, yeah. And if there's a 2D model of like this one, you can also have a 3D model, and it will also show. So it's a good improvement. And the next thing that is being worked on now for DWG is really XREF integration and being able to relate and navigate between documents through the DWG and harvest that from the DWG.
Yes.
So that will be coming in the future weeks. Another nice thing was the integration with OpenAI and Microsoft Azure and doing some AI analysis on in this drawing. We can clear the result now. It's being processed by ChatGPT engine as well as Azure AI services, and you can see here that it will propose document type, for example, being a piping and instrument drawing, some keywords. You will see the revision date, the release code, the document number originator, revision, and if we scroll down and zoom in, you will see that it will fetch data from, it's the whole drawing being sent to the service, but you will see here that it matches up really well. And
we've seen this been quite improved. We've used this AI stuff for some months. Yeah. And in the beginning it was quite slow and it wasn't very accurate, but now it's getting much better.
Getting better for sure, yeah. And you can then choose the document type here, for example. You will see that now it's updating the document type. So you can then harvest the properties or read out from the document and then set the
And
property.
we use this technology for clients that are migrating into Omega 365, where they have a bunch of documents and need to code them according to some standard that they identified but didn't used to have.
Yep.
But then using this technology to kind of get all the attributes set for a bunch of tens of thousands of documents in that case was very helpful and very efficient.
Yes. There's also an AI assistant that you can have. It will pop up on the right side. This will read the document, so in this case a drawing, but we can ask it to list out all tag numbers sorted by ask, for example. And you will see that it will read the document same as when we did the analysis, and it actually read out tags in this case.
And it was very fast. Wow.
Yes, and of course if this is a bigger manual, for example, an operational manual, and you would like to retrieve the preservation procedure, etc., you can do that. You will also be able to harvest an AI summary if you would like that. Same with this AI assistant. We also added this to content item, 2 areas. One on the summary, so you can ask it to generate a summary for you based upon the content. And in this case, it will consume all of this and suggest a summary. And you can save it, or you can of course edit it and change what you want. Same thing on the right side. We have a new one where you can ask it to improve, and you can either copy text in, please improve this. I write too fast, so I have some spelling issues, but that's
what you meant.
Yeah. It will come back and improve this as well.
And this is for sure something that we are continuing to research and use more and more of the integrated more and more into our product, the AI capabilities.
Yes.
And this is one way of benefiting from it.
Yep. And now you see it, and you can actually apply the change, and it will actually pop it in. You can also ask it to show the code, as this is actually HTML. You can actually then see the code and then do the adjustment yourself if you would like. Last thing is hotspotting or object links. We have a new toggle button here. So if you have ran the tag recognizer on this drawing, you will have a button saying show object links. You will see that here there are now highlighting the tags. You will see a little bit information about them. We always had them here in the object list, so you will see all the related tags to a drawing. But now you will see them here as well. And you can then click it, and you can navigate. If there is we'll navigate to both of these. So if the tag is connected to a model within BIM, you can navigate to the model part. You can let that load.
And this is for sure really new. This is what's next.
Yes. Yep.
Just very recently got it out internally on Omega, and this is also something that's been requested by our customers for many years, and some has used third-party tools for doing this, but having it all integrated inside Omega 365, and here, like with the BIM, it's really a nice feature.
Yes, here you will see it's highlighted this pressure pump, which was this, or we connected to this. So this is an easy way to, and you can manage these by navigating to manage object links, and it will, it might not fetch all of the tags. So if you would like to add one, I'll just show we can delete this one. You can mark around and say that you would like to find this one, PT06, and you can attach it. So now it's connected. So if you need to do that manual as well, you can do and connect them or remove. So it's easy to add manual as well. Yes. If you don't have, and maybe you didn't retrieve any import of the tags for the document, you can do them.
And if you have some old documents, perhaps it doesn't match the engineering numbering system, there might be some issues to deal with. So having this possibility where you can actually manually override what was suggested by the AI stuff It's
Yes.
really useful. Or is it
Well,
really AI or is it our own?
This is Ringaudas and Augustas, which is our
beating the AI.
yes, yeah, creating.
Because that was the first approach, that we planned to do this through AI, but we realized that we had smarter people in Omega.
Yes, yeah. And there's lots of logic to take to kind of consider and during this process. Okay, next is scheduling. Then we
Yes.
swap seats again.
So is that also something that basically when it comes to scheduling, something that we always wanted to have as part of our Omega 365 product, and we've had different versions of it the last few years, and we've done some major improvements to that, we could certainly say. There are two aspects of scheduling. One approach is that if you are an operator, that most of the scheduling is anyway done by all your contractors, and you need to import these schedules, make them more visible, make them more available for the team members, including other contractors where relevant. For that we have what we call link plans. So link plans is used for importing schedules, having versions of schedules available. Because you can have your baselines and you could have monthly updates from your contractors. Could also be your own schedules. I'll show you in 2 minutes or so how you can actually do your scheduling yourself also in Omega 365. You can have all of these schedules that are produced both from contractors and internally available inside link plans. So of course for a schedule you need to be able to see this nice in a Gantt view. And it needs to be fast. We've struggled with that in our previous versions, that it didn't scale very well. Now it's certainly scaling. Another challenge we had with our previous versions was that it didn't use the same component or same grid, so it was a different user interface. But now we have our own grid, and we also have our own component for the Gantt, which makes it perform the way we need it. We can have tens of thousands of activities and even more, and we should still be able to handle it. Yeah, basically you will have all the different versions. You can do nice things like, for example, testing the quality. A standard for testing the quality of a schedule is called the CMA test, where you check for lags and float, etc. Critical path, things like that is of course possible to view. So we see this one, the latest version of this is really good. And the other aspect of scheduling for us is that the need for you to schedule your own scope. So we have what we call
on link. Really, the next kind of focus is also on S-curves and histograms. Yes. And
sure, because we have like basic reports showing the Gantts. Very soon we will have progress curves, histograms, and all those reports that one would expect to find. So that's coming really fast now. I think we're really close to have it available. Yes, so moving over to scope scheduling then. So that means that we have the scope items being what you plan. So this is certainly something that you can use for scheduling your own work. We'll show the Gantt now. We of course also have tact plan as part of our scheduling functionality. Just first hide that one. So here I have a schedule. I can enable scheduling, and then I have the possibility to move around activities, and it will immediately respond to that based on the relationships that we've defined. So this scheduling engine is also able to handle big amounts of data. Another key thing is that you have the possibility to work together with your colleagues in the schedule. Right now you will see only me on the schedule, and in a few seconds we might see Jan Christian also popping up here. So we can work together on the same schedule real time. So if you play a little bit around in the schedule, Jan Christian, you should pop up on my view here. In the meantime, I can show you how you also have the possibility to group your data. Typically, of course, you might have a structure defined manually with parent relationship. And here we have Håvard popping up, I think it is. Was it you?
No,
It's Håvard. He is in the schedule.
Sorry, I'm in a different
Yeah,
schedule.
Christian's in the wrong schedule, but Håvard, he is quick.
Yeah.
So he is in the schedule now, we can see. And I will also be able to see who has been, Håvard, he was just in here and updating 41 activities. So that's good. And let me just show you the possibility to group. I had a column here for responsible. Let me just get it up again. If I want to group by responsible, I can do it like this. And now I have my activities like this. I can see what activities Jørgen and Håvard has, like this. So here you can basically group on any field, and the summarization of progress, everything will be updated according to the grouping that you have selected. So that's very nice. And a feature been highly requested from our customers. Okay, so this is something that we have available for our clients. Right? It's been out there for some weeks, this updated scheduling functionality.
Yep.
And good feedback so far. Okay, another thing that we are focusing on is how to help our users really understand how the system works. Trying, of course, to make the user interface as obvious as possible. Sometimes you need a little tip. And what we are working on now is tooltips. We are familiar with the traditional tooltips, small text that you can have in when you hover over any of the labels. We have made something that extends this, make it much bigger. We have here, for example, explanation of the risk type, color, more detailed explanation. We can have a longer text like this. We can even make it like you tried out here. You can have images. You can also even have a video inside
cool.
the tooltip. So we have just got this introduced and available. We will now start populating and making this implemented in all of our register in Omega 365. We believe this way of having the documentation easily available directly in the app that you work in is a very good approach.
And it will be possible to, for first of all, majority of our employees in Omega to contribute on the content of the tooltip, but also then within the customer solution, if there's specific information that they would like to provide their users, that's possible for them to adjust them as well.
Because what's nice is that this is a nice little register. Before, the tooltips was something that let me just switch to our production environment. So tooltips was something that the developer only had access to, basically. You had to program it.
Yes.
Now we want to make this much more available. So here there is a separate register for tooltips. So you can basically any users with the sufficient permissions, of course, that could be super users, it could be our own product manager, of course, internally in Omega, can write the content here. And they can even include the images and put that into the articles nicely and easily. So we think that this way of getting it much more accessible, available, the tooltips, and have them more rich in the content will make the documentation much more easily and better for our users.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, we just want to mention that we also have our Academy website. So if you access academy.omega365.com, you can learn more about our products. Here you can access our video collections, how-to introduction videos, product insights, various articles about stuff related to our products. Training courses are available. links to good practices, user documentation, etc. Also, if you click here on Explore Products, you can find information based on which product. So if you're interested in document management, you can find a good practice for document numbering, managing the redline process, shared folders, videos, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, that was what we had in this Omega 365. What's next this time?
Yes.
We come back with more later.
Yep. We'll go into the next year.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you and goodbye.